Hey guys, so I wanted to talk a little bit about working on your works cited page that goes at the end of your essay for your argument. Because you guys are using sources that other people have written, you're using online sources, web pages, hopefully some articles, some journal articles that you may have found online, but they're still journal articles. There's a specific way to do it, and I kind of wanted to show you one of the best resources out there that I use for my papers all the time when I have a question. This right here is called the MLA Formatting and Style Guide, and it's on Purdue University's website. If you click on that, or if you search for it and then click on it, you will see the Style Guide for MLA, which is what most of your English style papers will be. If you're writing science, you're going to have more APA. But if you're looking for specifically how to do a works cited page, then you can click on these. You have a basic format, and it will show you kind of just basically how it should look and what you should have in on your works cited page. How to cite books, how to cite periodicals or magazines, how to cite electronic sources, and then you have other common sources. You have abbreviations, you have a sample works cited page. So I'm going to start here with electronic sources and just show you what you get. If you click on that, you can scroll down and it just kind of gives you a few tips and the basic style that you want to use and how everything should be set up. And then here's the file. Here's the format that it follows. You always have the author. Any punctuation you see is the punctuation you must have in your. It's not really optional. It's not a choice. It's not what you'd rather do. After the author, you must put a period. The title must be in quotation marks and a period. And then the title, it depends on what you're doing as far as is it a book? Is it an entire website? Is it a book that you found online, like an ebook? Is it a journal that you found online or something like that? And that's where you get these URL part right here. So it's best probably just to look at an actual example of one of these. So let's say we were going to cite the entire website of the Purdue OWL. You would have the title and you would have who produces it, when, and then eventually you come down here to the website address, and then you always want to say when it's accessed. If you're using a website, and websites change all the time, they have information added and taken away and different pages added in different places at different times. So you definitely need to say when you accessed it, because if your teacher or somebody were to go in and try to find the same thing, they would maybe hopefully understand that if you accessed it 3 years ago, it may look a little bit different. It may have different information. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, if you have an article that's been published on a website or a journal article from a database, that's not going to have necessarily an access date because that journal article is not going to change. So here you have examples, one for an ebook, one for an image. I'm not sure that you guys are going to use images in this argumentative paper, an article in a web magazine, an article in an online scholarly journal, which is what you're going to find when you look through SIRS or if you look through the databases that the school offers. All finished and you have done everything, your paper's done, your reference page or your works cited page is done. This is what it will look like. And what you're going to notice is that it is in alphabetical order by the author's last name. And you will also notice that it's kind of reverse indented, which means that the first line, in a regular paragraph, the first line is indented in. On these, the first line is not indented and the rest of it is. Sometimes in a Word document that can be a little bit tricky, but you can work with it and you'll get it there. So you can see that this one is pretty lengthy, but it does follow that rule, the indentation and then the alphabetized last names. And then you'll also notice that you have, here's one author, two authors, the title of the article, the title of the newspaper it was in, the date of the newspaper. Why does it have a web address? Well, because you can look up the New York Times and find articles in the New York Times online, and then, of course, when it was accessed. So I may or may not be able to go back to this exact address and find this exact article. I probably can at this point. The New York Times is pretty easy to find archived works, but some things are going to change. So anyway, that's your basic outline of what it should look like. The works cited page is all by itself. It's not connected to any other part of your paper. It starts at the top of the last page, and if it needs to go on to a second page, it does. But it does not start, if you only use the first 3 lines of the last page for your paper, you don't start the works cited page on there. You have to go to the last page. All right, here is an example of an article that I looked up for my argumentative essay on raising the minimum wage. Now, I took all the information down. This is not how it should be kind of formatted on your paper. So I'm just going to show you this really quickly with this one. It's not too hard to figure out. And if you're not sure, it's from ProQuest. So it's definitely from a journal, a scholarly journal. So if you look over here, you can see that the journal is right here, and we have your last name, first name, we have the name of the article, we have the name of the journal, and then this one has a volume and volume number and all of that, but you can see that there's only a year right here, so there's no like month and date that's required. So if we go back to this, we know that we have Alper Lawrence, so that's the author. We have the title of the article. We have where we found the article. We do not need our November 18th. We just need our 2015. We have, let's see, we go back over here and check. After the date, let's see, we don't even need our SIRS issues researcher. We just need, let's see, yeah, we just need our web address and the access date. So if we go back here, we have our web address. We do not need a period. Accessed. And this was this Monday, so that would be April, or it was last Monday actually. So let's go with April 19th and then 2021. So what we want to do is double space this. If you don't know how to do that on a Google Doc, just like that. And then we want to make sure that the last name of the person is not indented, but everything else is. So it depends on the program you're working with. Sometimes computers can be a little funky because they want to do certain things and you don't want them to do that. So if you push that forward and then you push this one, you see what I mean? It acts crazy. You just have to work with it a couple times, and we want to make sure that the accessed looks just right. Oh, wait, we do need a period. My mistake. So we'll put a period here. You don't have to leave the link in. So once you're finished, if you are on a Google Doc, you can just unlink it, take that out, and then, let's see, we can take away the underline. We can make it all black. So that way you can't even see that and you don't have a link there. And your entire page all the way down would look like that. So if this was the first one, we would want to go up here and type in works cited, and that would be the top of the page. And then our next one would start right there. And that's how you set it up. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I will finish up looking through all of the rough drafts. You guys can continue working on this, and have a great week.